3, 2, 1, go.
Doom 2016 had no right to be as good as it was. And I mean that in the nicest way. It was a game that really did defy all expectations of it. It had been over a decade since we had gotten Doom 3, which, while a very well-designed game, no doubt, did not scratch the itch that a lot of people were looking for when you think of the name Doom. And Doom came out, and it was shown at the E3 press conference, I think in 2015, and it looked brown. It looked brown, and it looked a little slow, and there were these kill animations which really seemed out of place for a lot of people. And this came after years of speculation as to what Doom 4 was going to be, and we had reports of a Doom game that was in development, and then the entire thing was scrapped because it was too much like Call of Duty, is I think what the quote was, which is the last game that I think anybody would want Doom to be associated with. But there it was out there, and then we saw that E3 trailer, and it raised some hopes, but it also caused concern in other ways. And then the game launched. And not only is Doom my favorite game of 2016, it's also the most surprising release of a game that I have ever seen. I waited to get Doom 2016 until the reviews came in, because I was really concerned that it just wasn't going to be any good. And then there it was, released with almost universal acclaim. And it completely blew me away at just how good this game was. Not just in the gameplay. I would be hard-pressed to find anything with Doom that I don't like. The story is interesting enough to push you through, and yet it only stops you from playing and having direct control over your character maybe 3 times, for a grand total of maybe 5 minutes throughout the entire course of its, 20 some odd hour campaign. And not only was the story very unobtrusive, it also was very smart as to the way it handled its main character, you, the Doom Marine. You simply wanted to kill demons. You didn't care about the science going on. You didn't care about people's reasoning. And it was a direct reflection of you, the player. You didn't care about the reasoning. You played Doom to kill demons, and the Doom Slayer just wants to kill demons. It was the perfect way to justify the story and the character without either of them feeling at odds with each other. And then you move on to the music. The music in Doom is just so good. I am not a fan of metal music, and I'll admit, I could not listen to the Doom soundtrack without playing the game, which I know for a lot of people, listening to a soundtrack without the game tends to be what is the benchmark for a good soundtrack. I can see the merit in that, but let me just make my point. I don't like metal music, but I love the Doom soundtrack. Not because it's good metal music, it is, do not get me wrong, but it's because it does exactly what it needs to. It gets your blood pumping, it gets you excited to play the game, and it just matches the area that you're in, it matches the intensity of the fight you're in, everything about it. It's atmospheric, it's exciting. It knows when it needs to not have music playing, and it knows exactly when to kick in those loud guitars. It's so well done. And then you move on to the whole core of the game, the gameplay, obviously. Playing Doom... So, okay, let me preface this by saying leading up to the release of Doom, we kept hearing the creators of the game from id saying things like, playing Doom is like a dance. It's like a chess match. And you hear these words and they just sound like buzzwords, and I think I share this opinion with a lot of people where we kind of tune things like that out because we just never expect them to be true. That was not the case with Doom. Playing Doom really does feel a bit like a dance. When you have got a really good run going, you are chaining together multiple kills and the fatalities, and I forget what they're called actually. I'm blanking on the actual term for them. Glory kills, that's it. You're chaining together kill combos and glory kills, and you're jumping from one enemy to the other, and you're jumping on the jump pads, and you're blitzing around the battlefield. And when you do that right, with that music, with the sound effects, with the perfect relation between your input and the character's output, it's just so perfectly tied together, and the game really does feel, there's just this supremely natural flow to everything, where if you're a good player, it feels sublime, and if you're not good, it can kind of suck and feel a little janky, but you can see your improvement as you start getting these more natural feeling combat encounters. And I love that, because while the game does give you the ability to upgrade, it is entirely possible to beat the game without those upgrades. And I think that's a true testament to the game. It's the same philosophy that the Dark Souls series takes on. Sure, you can level up your character and get better equipment, but if you're just very good at the game, it is entirely possible to beat it without those things. And Doom follows that same philosophy. It is 100% about player skill, and everything else after that is just icing on the cake. So that is it. Doom is my favorite game of 2016. I know that might be surprising to some of you watching my channel, since I do mostly immersive RPGs. Having this loud and unafraid shooter take my favorite game of the year might be a little surprising, but I think to anyone who has played Doom, it's probably not that surprising at all. And I think that if you watch other people's favorite games of the year, I think you're going to see Doom on the top of a lot of those lists as well. Okay, thank you so much for checking out this video. It's a little short one here today. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite game was for 2016. I am interested to know, and I will, of course, be responding to all the comments that I get. Okay, I will see you all next time. Thank you so much.